Tuesday, January 27th, 2026 will be called at 7 p.m. Let me go ahead and do a quick roll call. And again, if I seem slow to you guys, I apologize. I'm not on my normal sort of big monitor with extra stuff. I'm on a little 13-inch. So in attendance is the Port Warden Siegel and Port Warden Lerner, as well as myself. So we do in fact have a quorum. Mr. Meekins is with us from the city, as well as Josh is assisting. So let's go ahead and move to the approval of the agenda. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Mr. Siegel, may I get a second?
Second.
Mr. Lerner, thank you very much. Okay, the motion has passed. So let's go ahead and move to, actually, we have no administrative and we actually have no old business either. So we're going to move right into new business. So the next item on the agenda is Port 2025-0016, 32 Williams Drive, and it's to replace in-kind a 6-foot by 63-foot pier with 10 by 21 platform, 2 mooring piles, 1 boat lift, and associated and replace an in-kind 19-inch walkway or 19-foot walkway. Is I guess Josh, if you can bring, is anyone here from that?
I don't see.
I have.
Oh, Mr. McCopp is here. Thank you. I just want to comment that he's now attended. Port Warden McCopp is with us. So thank you. All right, Mike, go back into you.
Yeah, sorry. I don't see anyone in the attendees from Waterfront Engineering, and that it would be the representative for Port 2025-0016, 32 Williams Drive.
So no one at all is here to present?
No. And I sent out an email to everyone today with the invitation. So, and I never heard back. So.
All right, Kim, by the way, the city's attorney has joined as well. I want to put that in for the record. I have to be honest with you. This is the first application in what, 6 years or something where there hasn't even been a homeowner present. Carrie, this is new to me in all these years. Do we just take it on paper value or?
I mean, this is new to me too. Never had a situation where there's been no presentation whatsoever. I think you guys maybe have a couple of options. You could put it on the next agenda, give them an opportunity, especially in light of all the weather circumstances. Maybe something came up and that prevented them from being accessible virtually. I don't know.
Right.
So I think you have an option to do that, especially to the extent that you would like a presentation.
I would. I know it's in kind. It's a fair amount of in kind. How do you?
Is there a possibility that you can shuffle the agenda till the end, just in case they're delayed and they do show up?
Yes, I don't believe we have to vote. Carrie will.
Yeah, you can. I jumped on a little bit late, so I don't know how much I missed. But at the approval of the agenda portion, you can move that item.
Okay, we've already approved the agenda. We're now into the new business.
Okay.
So.
So
without I'll make a motion to delay this until the end of the meeting. If they don't show up, then the motion will be to postpone until next month.
Okay, can I get a second?
Easy.
I'll second that.
Okay, Mr. McCobb, thank you very much. All right. So that at least we can still have forward momentum.
Yeah.
So we'll try to get through the next two, and then if they appear, that would be great. All right. The next item on the agenda is Port 2025-00017. Oh, wait, there was a motion made. We need to vote on it. I'm sorry. So all those in favor of delaying Port 2025-0016, 32 Williams Drive for now, to the little later in the meeting, please say aye or yes.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you. That's unanimous. All right, let's go ahead to next item agenda is Port 2025 dash 00017 5 Southgate, and it's a demo one pier and install a new 4 by 40 foot pier inside the western 5-foot lateral line setback. Okay. And if Josh can bring in any parties that relate, that would be great.
Sure. That's Mr. Stephen Hyatt?
I believe so.
Okay. And apparently, yep, Mr. Jack Biddle as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Renee Norris.
And Renee. Okay.
Okay. All right. All right. I need to make sure if anyone is speaking, I need to make sure your camera is on. So Mr. Beidle and Mrs. Norris.
They may speak, but it'll, I guess, depend on how some of our procedural motions go here.
Okay. All right. So anyone planning on testifying, please raise your right hand. All right. And here we go. You do solemnly swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give the Port Wardens is the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. As a preliminary matter, the board will accept into the record the application packet and the staff report and any public comments. Would the city staff to the board, Mr. Meekins, like to present any additional information about the written staff report?
The only thing I would add, well, nothing to add to the staff report. There were no public comments. The property was posted, advertised, and the mailings went out all in a timely manner. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, if we can have, I guess Mr. Hyatt's going to be the primary. This is an assumption, but who is going to be the primary presenter of this application?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Stephen Hyatt, 200 Westgate Circle, Suite 500, Annapolis. I'm the attorney for the applicant, 5 Southgate LLC at 5 Southgate Avenue in Annapolis. This is the third time that we've had to come back to you for this pier. There's a long and storied history for this cove on Spa Creek, and Mr. Biddle has previously shared that history on the record. And so we'll spare you with that tonight. But again, it goes back almost a century. And at the prior Port Wardens hearings, this is basically the final piece of a collaborative effort between 4 property owners here on the cove, 3, 5, 9, and 11 Southgate, that the Port Wardens, again, several times before you all, had lauded this as a model of cooperation among neighbors that the entire city should look to. And since that time, we've had a couple of snafus or some hurdles to deal with at the state level. And that's pretty much what we've been navigating since the prior approvals. And what you approved in 22 under, it was Port 2022 dash 0016, it's the same pier. The pier configuration, the one on the application before you tonight, has remained unchanged. The design, the dimensions, the location, the orientation, it's the same exact as it was when you approved it in 22. We did have to, again, at the state level, we ended up having to make a lot line adjustment landward outside of Port Wardens jurisdiction and back to DPZ, essentially because MDE said you couldn't have 2 piers on one property, and they treated the half pier, the one before you tonight, which was going to be built on the property line between 5 and 9, as 9 Southgate having 2 piers. So what we did was we shifted the property line 2 feet, and now the pier is going to be entirely on 5 Southgate. But to be clear, it is the same exact pier. Nothing's changed. The lateral lines haven't changed on 3 and 5. It's slightly changed between 5 and 9, but it's substantially the same. And we do have a letter of no objection from the McLaughlins, the owners of 9 Southgate, for the encroachment into the lateral line setback. So no issues there. And what I would request or proffer, and I think Mr. Meekins can speak to this as well, in lieu of having a whole nother extended presentation on something that's already been approved, that the Port Wardens accept by reference the prior record and approvals in their entirety, so that we can basically just approve what was previously approved. And we're happy to answer any questions and show you any plans, but it is the exact same plans, so it should does comply with all of Chapter 15.
Okay. I completely agree. This was a model of great cooperation and it was well presented and we love the neighborhood thing. I will say most of the Port Wardens here, at least those that would make up a quorum, were not here in 2022. Okay.
Understood.
I think we can do this with great alacrity. It might take Mrs. Norris to just give us the slight rundown. Just sort of, honestly, the one I'm looking in particular, I can't tell that it's the one where it has existing pier to be removed, and then you show the proposed 40 by 4 pier. If someone can, for me, I think that will be, and again, Mr. Lerner, Mr. McCobb, because I think you two might not have been on at that point. I'm unsure, or I'm not positive. But if you see this, it might, just having that explained might actually clarify. Mr. Hyatt's absolutely right. It is an interesting cove that's very difficult, and all the neighbors worked beautifully together to come up with a great sort of resolution to weird circumstances. But I would like, it probably makes a little sense to have a small presentation, and again, most likely Mrs. Norris, or who I assume they designed it.
Yeah, I totally can do that. Is Renee Norris, are you here? And can we hear you?
Yes, I'm here. I can support you, Mr. Hyatt, if you want to go ahead and present it, and I
Okay.
can talk specifically maybe, about the plans if Mr. Hyatt has any questions.
Yeah, can you share? Do you have it pulled up? I only have the I have the
One marked on the
removed
left-hand
plans.
lower, page 3 of 6. It's sort of, for lack of a good way to put it, gets right to the point of what you're doing or requesting.
Yeah. Give me 1 second here. If you have it handy, Renee, it would be
Sure.
helpful.
Let me see what I can do.
As far as the Adobe document, I don't know if you're working with what the city has, your page 6 of 12, but again, the reference to me that most clearly lays it out is page 3 of 6.
Okay.
The one it says on the left lower in handwriting, page 3 of 6.
Okay.
It's the one, again, that shows the existing pier to be removed on 5 Southgate, and then an arrow to the slightly lower that says proposed 40 by 4 foot.
Okay, I'm sorry, page 3 of 6.
Yeah, left-hand lower, again, in handwriting says page 3 of 6.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay.
If you give me 1 second, I
Sure.
can share. I can share the site plan.
Okay.
Would that be helpful to see
Yes,
it?
very much so. Very
Okay.
much so.
All right. Here we go. Okay. Can you see this now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but the page I'm referring to is slightly, but you start wherever you want. I don't
Okay.
need to get into your creds. You've been in front of all of us, so we know you're
Right. Okay. So this is, and I apologize, it's sideways. But
There's a
this-
rotate at the top, third one in on the left, top, there, right there. That might help.
right here.
No, at the top bar next to the word actual size and rotate view, it's more right.
Actual size.
Bam.
Ah, got it. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. Okay, so this is what we are proposing, the 4 foot by 40 foot pier that's right here along the lateral line. The only thing that is different between this application and the previous one was that, as Mr. Hyatt said, this property line was moved, so therefore the lateral line changed. But Mr. McLaughlin from 9 Southgate provided a letter of no objection, no issues with the pier being located solely in the setback. And this is what we're proposing.
And for
Okay.
the other, thank you, Mrs. Norris, for that. The other port wardens, if you could just zoom in a little bit, just for some context.
The global plan here, what we did,
Yeah, that's what we were going to talk about.
after literally 100 years, we've owned the house for 37 years. And then we bought it from St. Clair Wright, who founded it, historic Annapolis. She had owned it for 50 years. And we have all the papers going back for a century of fighting about this cove. But we all got together and agreed to have 2 piers instead of 3,
Mhm.
which is the only way that we can get to the water. And then the state came in and said that I would give Matt 2 half piers, which only have 1 water access under the Maryland code. He was rebuilding his house, so we couldn't move the lot line until he got his occupancy. We moved the lot line 2 feet. And so this is the final piece of 80 years of argument. As I said, this was all approved before, but we had to move the 2 feet to make the state happy.
Right.
But-
And for the other port wardens, 9 Southgate had a pier before. It's not there anymore. You can
Okay.
see there's a pier that splits the property lines between 9 and 11. And the state said that the portion of the pier that touches 9 counted as a whole pier. And when we had previously come to you and what you all had previously approved was the pier that is between 5 and 9. However, the property line split the pier where it touched the shoreline, so that there was basically 2 halves on 9, and the state treated that as 2 whole piers. And they said,
Okay.
you can't do it. So we had to go through the lot line adjustment. And as Mr. Biddle just mentioned, 9 Southgate had some open permits, so they couldn't change the lot line. So once those got closed out, then we could change the lot line. So there was a lot of things that needed to line up procedurally so that we could move forward with essentially the same exact pier as you had previously approved. So that's the I guess the long and short of it. But again, nothing has changed on this pier. It's the exact same, and all the bulkheads, that whole thing is moving forward. The
It's all
9/11
it's all
pier.
complete. Everything's,
Okay.
everything's complete, but this
Yep.
last piece.
Yep.
Okay. All right, great. If you could leave this up, Mrs. Norris, just so when we get to the next phase, Mr. Hyatt, are you okay if we keep moving forward?
Yeah, I'm good. I would just I guess
Uh,
want to make sure that, for
Sure.
clarity, that the record from the prior approval and that the prior approval is incorporated by reference. So I don't know if that
Okay.
needs to happen by motion or how. I just want to make sure that's in there.
Okay. All right. Let me move to, there is no public testimony, Mr. Meekins, right? Well, Josh, really, no one else is in this in this meeting for this particular application. So rebuttal is a non-issue. The only question, if just to review, so the new lateral line is the one on the right-hand side, just where the arrow of the word proposed. We see how the arrow goes to the left. I assume it's the west, but goes to the left, and then where it touches that solid line is the new property line, correct?
No,
No.
that's the edge of the pier.
This is the new lateral line that here that goes right down the edge of the pier.
Right.
Okay. My only sort of question is, and I hate to even do this because again, I think this is an outstanding sort of way that everyone's cooperating. But you're allowed to have a variance to your setback, right? If you get permission from that property holder. But you're not supposed to get a allowance across the lateral line. All right. But at least the image itself looks like that new proposed pier is protruding by just ever so slightly. Or what does that line represent, if I may ask? The line that's to the right. There's the one that has the solid and then turns into hash mark as it goes out, right? And then there's another line there. Yep, it's where your hand is from the land.
Yes.
What does that line represent? Was it just in there for the purpose?
It's there for a measurement to make sure.
No, I know that line. I'm
Sorry.
talking about the line that goes back to shore from the tip of that measurement.
This
What is
line,
That's the edge of the
The
pier
dotted
on
line?
the,
No, the solid line.
that's the edge of the pier.
this-
Can you zoom in a little?
Yeah, but it goes all the way to the shoreline.
Well, this is the pier. This
Okay.
line right here, I'm sorry, is this what you're asking? This line?
Yes.
I believe that was just the way the engineer drew it as a reference for the measurement here, but the pier
Okay.
itself ends right here.
Yeah, the way we all work together on this, and it's kind of a interesting Annapolis story. But 5 Southgate, the original 9 Southgate owned that lot line, and it went straight through. So 9 Southgate only had 15 feet of waterfront, and then 7 Southgate's property line ran all the way to the waterfront. So 9 only had 15 feet. So then St. Clair, whose dad was an admiral and Admiral Adair lived in 9, she cut the corner off of her property. Well, 7 built our house 5 for their daughter and then sold it to St. Clair Wright. St. Clair sold the corner to Admiral Adair, who owned 9 Southgate, so he'd have 25 feet of water. And then 7 kept 3 feet of water on the edge between 3 and 5, claiming riparian rights. And then 3, Mike Mulligan had 47 feet of water and he wanted 2 boats. So he bought 7, annexed the 3 feet. He's got 50, so he can have 2 boats. And then the existing piling that stays there is not remotely compliant with the city code, but I've agreed to let it stay there. And then Matt's agreed to give me a 15.5-foot opening for a boat.
Okay.
And so then
Okay.
we move. So basically both of us can have a 40-foot boat and get in and out of the creek.
I got you. Okay. So it's that new pier being built is merely, my dilemma was the fact that the proposed 40-foot pier and the arrow to it, I was thinking it was actually pointing to the 25.1, and I understand that's not in the
No.
application. Now it makes perfect sense. And
Yeah, with the
yeah.
existing pier, I can't get out and he can't get out.
Right.
And that's why we came up with 2 shared piers instead of 3 single piers that were essentially dysfunctional.
right.
And then we ran into DBED saying that would give Matt 2 piers and then we
Right.
had to
No,
wait for his
totally.
occupancy.
Totally makes sense to me now. Totally makes
Yeah,
sense. Okay. All right.
a 2-week project is now on its 5th year. So
Okay. All right. Okay. let me open the floor to my fellow port wardens. Do you guys have any additional questions?
I have a question here. So I understand the pier right at where 9 meets 11. Does that mean 9 owns part of that pier and 11 owns part of that pier?
Yeah, I can take that one. Yes, technically, but you can see it reflected on there. The same folks, Mr. and Mrs. McLaughlin, own 9 and 11, and we're actually going through the process now of reconfiguring the lot line between those two properties as a second phase that has nothing to do with the shoreline, but we're going through that, and so once all said and done, that property line won't exist. So that lateral line will go away.
But right now 9 and 11 share a pier, and then what looks like 5 then will own the new pier in its entirety. 9 owns none of the pier that's adjacent to 5.
That's right.
And the state required that.
Okay.
Correct.
But 5 and 9 have this understanding where 9 can use the pier.
Well, you know,
What he wants 50 feet also. So he's going to annex some of 11.
right.
So he's
So
got
all of the 11 and 9 shared pier will be on 9.
Yeah, he's doing what Mike Mulligan did. He's buying the adjacent property. He's going to take the waterfront, so he's got his 50 feet, and then he'll sell the house without riparian rights.
Precisely.
And they've, Mr. Siegel, if I will say that all the neighbors have seemed to cooperate. At one point, all of them were in front of us together, and they really sort of worked well.
This was a very tough problem, and I was really, Matt did a great job, because when we're the longest, we bought the house 37 years ago and raised our kids there, and then St. Clair was there 50 years, and she gave us all the papers. And before the Mulligans, going back to the 60s, was Tyler, who's actually the great uncle or uncle of a friend of mine. And they fought with St. Clair about that pier, that it would silt and everything. And then 11 had a non-conforming structure that they never got a permit for. It's been a mess for almost a century. And Matt, there's always been somebody who had no money. And this was the first time where you had cooperative people who shared an in-state, and we all made huge compromises and got it done.
Yeah. Okay. Any other port wardens with questions? Mr. Lerner, Ms. McCott?
No.
Okay. All right. All our questions have been asked. I declare the public hearing of Port 2025-00017, 5 Southgate Avenue. So as far as I'm concerned, all the criteria fit. And again, this is, I think, a model of how things, should be when you have to not deviate, because again, we are within compliance, but work well together. None of this is a navigation issue as far as navigation unto the neighbor's use. It's actually better. We're fine with lateral lines and setbacks because everyone's in agreement, and especially the state is now in agreement. We've got no issues with the harbor line. So that's 15, 16, 20. There's no wildlife issues or congestion issues or anything like that. So to me, this seems to be statutorily appropriate. Is there any more in the discussion, Port Wardens? Do you have any comments or thoughts? Okay. Um, let's go ahead and if I'd love to, sir, entertain a motion to approve or deny the application in Port 2025-00017 5 Southgate.
Motion to approve.
All right, motion from Mr.
Second.
Lerner, second from Mr. McCop. Thank you very much. All right, all those in favor of approving the application Port 2025-00017 5 Southgate, please state aye or yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you very much. That's unanimous. Thank you very much, Mr. Hyatt and
Thank
Mr.
you.
Norris and Ms. Bridle. Thank you.
Thank you, Port Wardens. This has been an adventure of 37 years for me and 100 years for the city, and I'm glad we've got something that works for everybody.
Okay,
Nice to have some closure.
fantastic. All right, Mrs. Norris, if you could unshare your screen just so we could certainly kick you out, but that makes our life easy. All right. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the next application, which is a neighbor as well. Port 2025-00018 11 Southgate Avenue. It's pretty simple. It's installing a mooring pile. If we can, Josh, if anyone in, it might be the same group as well, but anyone who's going to testify for this, are you guys in? Who's part of this?
I am.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mrs. Norris.
Mr. Chair, we do have a Matt McLaughlin in attendees. I'm not sure if I don't have a list of.
He is the property owner of 11 Southgate.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
And
I'll bring
Mr.
him.
Hyatt, are you also presenting part?
I'm not, but I'll stick around in case.
Okay. We're going to end up
Intellectual.
turning you out of the image. Just we sort of remove parties that aren't directly related to the element from the image.
I'm the adjacent neighbor, and I'm thankful for Matt and happy with us finally getting this all done. So you can kick me
Okay.
out.
All right. We'll get to that. All right. So anyone planning on testifying? Now we already have Mrs. Norris, but is it who's presenting the application?
I am.
You are. Okay, great. All right.
Yes,
You've
I am.
already been sworn in, and Mr. Bridle, you've already been sworn in as well. Mr. McLaughlin, are you going to be doing any testimony or presenting any testimony? Your mute is on. Mr. McLaughlin.
Yes, probably not. Yep. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes. Okay. If you're not, then I won't swear you in. If you are, I need to swear you in.
And
Okay, you are not. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and Mrs. Norris, again, we know your background. So we don't need to re-swear you in. So let's go ahead and let me actually first, as a preliminary matter, the board will accept the into record the application back in the staff report and public comments. Would the city staff to the board, Mr. Meekins, like to present any additional information about the written staff report, as well as confirm any public comments, things like that?
Nothing to add to the staff report. There were no public comments, and also the property was posted. The newspaper affidavit or the newspaper was advertised. The application was advertised in the newspaper, and
Okay.
the mailings went out all in a timely manner.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you very much. So if Mrs. Norris, if you can brief, it's one piling, I know, I apologize. But if you could sort of just show us the image and let us know if it's brand new, if it's a replacement, if it's this, that would be great.
Okay, so I'll share my screen again.
Yes, that would be great.
Okay. Okay, so for 11 Southgate, here we go. Mr. McLaughlin is requesting one piling to be located right here. It is not in the setback. It'll be used as a mooring pile for one slip. It, like I said, does not encroach in the setback and will have no negative impact on navigation for his neighbor. So this is
Okay.
the piling he's requesting.
Okay. And there's no, are there pilings or on the neighbor side, are there pilings forward of that?
I'm sorry, which neighbor? This side?
To the yeah, that neighbor, are those circles, I guess, existing pilings?
Yes.
Okay,
those are
but they're not
pilings.
his.
No.
Okay.
I mean, they're the neighbors, not for 11 Southgate.
Okay. All right. Looks good to me. I will say this, and we're trying to get a little more standardization. This is pretty simplistic, so it's not that hard. But in the future, we're hoping to really see a true lateral line with hash mark setbacks on every time there's a lateral line. So just throwing that out there. But again, it looks well. The 5 feet should be a non-issue considering it's 22 feet from that, and it's only out 20, point or 12.5 from the pier, and I assume that wide. So, I mean, to me, that's good. There's no piling forward of that.
No.
Okay, I just thinking if you're going to tie off a vessel and you want to keep it a slightly off a pier, you would have another one. But I guess if it's floating, you're going to side tie. All right. Anything more to present other than that? That's pretty easy.
No, other than the MDE license will actually be a modification to the original license that was issued, and it's currently under review. And in 2 weeks, the public notice will be over, and then they will send it to Board of Public Works.
Okay,
So
and
that's in the process.
We don't. That's good. We don't necessarily, that would trump us if they had declined it in some way and the city would over. But I understand. I appreciate you telling us that. But that's good. That shouldn't impede us the ability to make a decision.
Mr. Chair, if I might add something, I know it's hard to see on the plan, but the lateral lines are actually depicted. They're just dots. So if Miss Norris maybe can zoom in a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. This is the old guy eyes. Okay.
Yeah. No, I
got
know,
it. I'm sorry. I didn't see it until she zoomed in. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Even better. Thank you for having them there. I have probably needed a new prescription. All right. Okay. Is there anything more from the applicants? And there has no public testimony, and so there's no need for rebuttal. Again, I asked my questions probably a little early, and I got all my answers. The fellow port wardens, what questions might you have, if any?
No questions.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. I guess we can I will declare the public hearing on Port 2025-0018, 11 Southgate, closed. You're, like I said, all the criteria, you're well within it. You don't have any, you're on the correct side of the setback. So that's a non-issue. There's no navigation elements, just like the last one. It's so buried much more toward the property line. That harbor line is not an issue at all. There's no congestion elements. So all of that 15, 16, 20 for navigation. It's proposed. It's not a harbor line issue. No wildlife thing. So 15, 16, 30 is fine. Or 030. So everything to me statutorily is perfect. So I will entertain a motion to approve or deny the application in Port 2025-00018, 11 Southgate.
Motion to approve.
All right, and that was
Second.
Mr. McCobb. All right, thank you. And we have a second from Mr. Lerner. All right, all those in favor of approving the motion in the application Port 2025-00018, 11 Southgate, please state aye or yes.
Bye.
Aye. All right, that was all 4 of us. That's unanimous. Thank you very much. Now do we have anyone else that may have, this is more of a Josh question because he can actually see who is hanging out. Anyone here from 2025-001632 Williams?
No, Mr. Chair, all I have is Mr. Stephen Hyatt in the attendees.
Okay. All right. Kim, I guess is still here because my small screen, I only see, yeah, Carrie, sorry. Carrie is still here, which is good. Again, first time in 6-7 years that I haven't had a human who was here to just present it. Yes, it's replacement in kind. It's actually right next to another location we had approved something recently, but I sort of feel like someone should be here, the property owner or a consultant, just so that if we do have questions, we can ask them. Sometimes it's even hard to develop solid questions just with the written element.
Could Matt and I have their water just as a reward for setting an example for the rest of the city? I'm joking.
Yeah, unfortunately no, but all right.
So
What do we want to do?
Can I make a motion that we postpone this till next month?
That would be great if I
That'd
can
be-
get a second on that.
That'd be appropriate to
Second.
give them an opportunity
Okay,
to.
who was the second, Jared?
Mr. McCobb.
Mr. McCobb. Okay, I'm
Me,
sorry.
I'll second.
Good. Thank you very much. Okay, so that was seconded by Mr. McCobb. All right. All those in favor of postponing port 2025-00016 32 Williams Drive, please state aye or yes.
Yes.
Aye. Aye. All right, great. That's unanimous.
And I was going to say, Mike, can you maybe call them and see what the situation was? Why nobody showed up?
Yeah, absolutely. I will reach out to them tomorrow morning. Like I said, they had posted the property, and I reached out, or I sent emails to multiple representatives this morning with the invite, and crickets. So, but I will, Dr. Siegel, I will reach out and try to figure out what's going on.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you all very much. Let's move to out of new business. And Ms. Laney, is there anything for the good of the order?
Oh, we have to thank Alderman Thorpe for being with us again.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, taking time to
it actually carries
shoveling snow in the.
It's not on the agenda. I guess we'll have to do it the next agenda. We have to, I guess, re-vote on the chair, or I can't remember if we do that every year or.
Yeah, good catch, because I thought maybe, no, it is January, isn't it? I've lost all concept of time at this point. But yes, you do have to re-elect a chair and a vice chair once a year, so it should be on the next meeting agenda.
Okay, all right.
And Mr. Shapiro, I'll have the annual report for next time too.
Okay, and then there's always, and I don't remember exactly when they do it, but there's usually a port warden's, I'm sorry, a harbor master's annual mooring ball location that we have to approve with all that might be going on with the St. Mary's shoreline, the potential changing it from bulkhead to natural shoreline and alteration of stuff. It would be, I think it's going to, usually it's a checkbox because it's the same mooring location as the prior year, but this year might be a tad bit more intense. So I think if I could talk to Beth, and then if you guys, like, we just may have to actually have it on the agenda, and I will say I want a little bit of time to look at it if there are a bunch of alterations, because I know that there might be some coming up, and I think all us port wardens should actually have a sense of it. In years past, it was again just the same location and just checking it off, but this year might be slightly different.
Mr. Chair, I can reach out to the harbor master.
Okay.
We were actually just in communications this week regarding St. Mary's, so I know they have some possible reconfigurations of the mooring fields
Okay.
So I can see if they want to chime in for the next meeting.
Okay, that would be great. That would be great.
I
All
was
right.
gonna also mention, we've thought about having the harbor master actually have a chat with us, because there kind of is some interaction we have with them, and there's some questions we probably could address as well. Is there a way to invite the harbor master at one of our meetings as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
You- you-
I will tell you, just letting you know, I have a good relationship, not that it means, but both as port warden and outside of it, both my kids have been assistant harbor masters. So when something big is coming or something change, or we're talking about some navigation related element, they do reach out and they'll share a plan or look at it. It's not directly related to us approving or not, especially until it gets to an application sort of spot. But they do a good job of reaching out. And it would be great. And Harold, you've talked about this before. I'd love all of us to get together anyway. As long as I'll leave it up to Carrie to tell us how much, as long as we're not talking about a direct application, I think it's okay if we had actually shook hands and face to face type of situation, and maybe it wouldn't be bad to have a Beth, a Tyler, one of those people there, because they're the enforcers when things do need to get dealt with. We're just on the decision side of what's going in. But it might be a good idea for all of us to actually physically get together, as well as, like you say, possibly have them in a meeting. So
I wonder if Frank can arrange to have us actually meet at the city council chambers. I don't know if that is that rentable?
That's not Alderman Thorpe's responsibility.
I know. I just want to make sure
If you guys want to have an in-person meeting, you certainly can. You're sort of subject to the TV studio, their availability of being in person. If you want to do what Robert was just talking about and have sort of more of a social meeting, that's fine as long as you're not talking shop. But if you include Beth or a member of the harbor master's office, it could very easily turn into a conversation about what it is that they come before you guys, which is the public moorings that Robert had just indicated. So that's where it could get a little bit dicey.
Sure. So we would just have to stay away from the small stuff. It has to be in a meeting if it's something that's eventually going to get voted on. Okay. But it wouldn't be a bad idea. We can sort of talk about this future, but we certainly can invite them. And Mr. Meekins is going to talk to them about what changes might occur, and then we can invite him into one of our meetings and add him to the agenda. Okay. All right. So the next regular meeting is, I did not document the right date. Mr. Meekins, do you remember the exact?
February 24th.
February 24th. Okay. All right. There being no other items on the agenda, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Okay. I'm going to give it to Mr. Siegel, and I got a second from, I guess, Mr. McCott. All right. Thank you very much. All those in favor of adjourning, please state aye or yes.
Aye.
All right. That is unanimous. Thank you guys very much.